Richards. It's on there by Pulisic, but he couldn't find where. Vitinha. Araujo's ball out wide to the right side, looking for Dalot of Manchester United. There's Trusty looking to clear it away. Flicked inside by Tillman. And Christian Pulisic battling to get there against Vitinha. It's gone out of play on the far side here for a throw for Portugal. 2016 European champions, beating France 1-0 in Paris after extra time. Morris gets a block there as Freeze comes out to claim. It's so good just watching Vitinha on the ball, how he finds the spaces, gets the ball, so comfortable in possession. Passes he picks.
Rarely flustered, but credit to this U.S. side is they have put pressure on. They have been getting his head down and flustering him at times. But yeah, he's a class player for sure. Bruno Fernandes being forced a little bit further from the goal. This is where Fernandes wants to be. Wants to stay high between the lines. The U.S. doing a really good job of passing him off.
Coming in there from Tillman on the far side as it goes out for another throw, which Bruno Fernandes will look to take. Bruno Fernandes was out for a bit in January with a hamstring injury, but since returning, he's got a goal contribution in 9 of 11 Premier League games for Manchester United. Donny's all happy now because he thinks his Manchester United have turned it around and they're going for glory now under Michael Carrick.
Yeah, that's going to last.
Here's Vitinha once more. Pulisic putting the pressure on as it's played across the back. And Tillman almost forced an error there from Araujo. Just a third cap for the Benfica defender, 23 years old. Araujo pushing this one forward down the right side, looking for Trincao as Portugal bring it forward. Trusty doing the defending here. Driven in as Richards can clear away.
See the difference Richards makes. He's just a presence, absolutely a leader in this team. I mean, just a rock in the center, and I think the back three makes them a little more comfortable. I think tactically they're set up the right way, especially based on what they're facing with Chris Richards, and you'd probably say Freeze as well. There's just a confidence that's there that comes with their presence.
Kyle, you mentioned earlier just the communication aspect from down here. I constantly hear Chris organizing that back line and even the midfield line. I just hear constant communication, and that definitely boosts confidence as well as organization within the team.
Picked up here by McKennie. It'll drop for Morris. Tillman did well there. Just wriggled his way out of trouble, and they'll look to play this one quickly from Morris into the middle for Berhalter. There's space on the right side, and here come the US with Freeman over halfway. He's got support from Ware. And Freeman still going. Challengers coming in as it's out for a throw. Mauricio Pochettino arguing his case to the fourth official. I think maybe he feels there could have been a free kick in there somewhere. There are challengers coming flying in. Jesus Perez on his feet as well. Mauricio Pochettino's trusted assistant.
Yeah, that all starts with Tillman. He's been excellent this game. It just, you saw it several times now. He's moving even when he's not the first line of pressure.
McKennie clips that one, and he was caught late there. And a free kick has been given. And it's the right decision because McKennie clattered by João Cancelo. And a yellow, probably the correct decision there.
Right when he gets this off, you can see, I mean, it's just not only that first leg, but the trailing leg that catches Weston McKennie. Good to see him up, walking on his own, putting weight on it, but that was definitely a yellow card. Reckless challenge.
Cancelo then into the book. He won the Premier League 3 times with Manchester City, João Cancelo. Won the league in Portugal, Italy and Germany as well. And here it's Anthony Robinson and Sebastian Berhalter with a little over 10 minutes to go until half-time, standing over this free kick for the US. Trusty and Richards, 2 targets in there, having come forward from the back. Berhalter to the edge of the box. Pulisic drives it in. Comes back out towards Aidan Morris. Having a great season in the Championship in England with Middlesbrough as they push for promotion to the Premier League. Where? This is Freeman. Dalot goes to close down on the far side. Freeman turns really well. Excellent play from Freeman. Driven in by Pulisic. He wasn't too far away.
I love when Freeman gets ahead of speed going forward. Ahead of steam, where he's just committed to it. And just watch the little skill, little shift, the strength, and then right here, outside of the foot, gets it to Christian Pulisic. Pulls it slightly. Saw had to be sure of it to get that arm extended, but you can see the ball just slightly spinning away. It starts inside that post. He hits it well.
It's a big night for Freeman because he hasn't had the minutes he would have wanted since making the move from Orlando to Villarreal in Spain. He's been in their squad 9 games so far, but has only played 38 minutes for his new team. This one through the middle towards Fernandes. He's in round the back. Bruno Fernandes here with a little back heel. It's a chance for Portugal. And it's dispatched with precision for the first goal. Francisco Trincao with the finish.
Right here, just a turnover as McKinney's trying to get it back to Freeman. And Morris, you can see, pushes right, and that opens up the passing lane. But how is everyone dropping back right there? And maybe it's Trusty. Someone's got to just read. There's no way Fernandes is getting that shot off. Richards has that angle cut down. The back heel looks like it's the only thing that can come, but take nothing away from a wonderful finish. Freeze sees it late. He's incredulous, immediately wondering. There were several players that could make that play. No one reading that little back heel.
Trincao's 3rd international goal. The ingenuity of the assist from Bruno Fernandes. And the United States, after much good work, find themselves trailing here as we head towards half-time.
Yeah, not exactly a cutback, but that was one of the things that killed the U.S. against Belgium the other day, was just collapsing into the back line, having plenty of bodies to make the play, but not just reading where's the biggest danger, where's the space that we got to worry about. And the cutback last game really killed the U.S. and that back heel from Fernandes. Great ingenuity.
Now, Mauricio Pochettino will look for the response. His side took the lead at the weekend, but find themselves behind here against Portugal. Portugal will rank number 6 in the world coming into this international window. Mauricio Pochettino's side with work to do here in the final game before he names the World Cup squad. 56 days until Pochettino will announce his roster in New York City. This one flicked into the middle. Ramos couldn't get on the end of it. And Robinson away towards halfway. Ramos battling for it again, will bring this one down. Vitinha. Now space for Bruno Fernandes. This time the back heel doesn't work. Pulisic battling to get there but couldn't. Goes down by Berhalter. It's Vitinha. And Congo beating Jamaica.
Wow. And
they qualify for Group K at the World Cup. They will play against Portugal in the opening game of the tournament for them. in Houston on June 17th. What a day of drama it has been across the world. And one more spot still up for grabs a little later on tonight. Final playoff taking place in Mexico. Iraq against Bolivia for the last spot at the World Cup. Little flick on there as McKennie got a touch to it. It drops for Berhalter. And wide for Robinson down the left side. Bruno Fernandes getting back to break-up play there. Vitinha turns out towards Cancelo down the left. Closed down by Weah. Inacio's ball forward, drops here towards Anthony Robinson, and the Fulham man carrying this one towards Pulisic. Robinson has a go.
When Melissa was talking about Weah and the coaches screaming at him, that's exactly what they want right there. In transition, when you move into that defensive phase, starting high, I mean, the U.S. has forced a lot of turnovers and gotten into these good positions. And Pulisic wants that to feed. Robinson hits it well, and Robinson's been really bright. I mean, for the U.S., definitely a silver lining of losing last game and being down this one is he looks up for it. He looks like he is in top form.
Played every minute at the World Cup in Qatar, Anthony Robinson. 64 minutes in the game against Belgium at the weekend, got the assist on McKennie's goal. His first appearance since November of 2024 for the US. Richards plays this forward here for Morris. Pulisic knocked off the ball. He wanted the free kick, but nothing given there as the challenge came in from Araujo. And then Pulisic was frustrated that he didn't get the call before that. And he leaves Vitinha on the ground.
And here's a look at just a little clip on Vitinha. Didn't really look like the first one was a foul, just frustrated. Yeah, going down in the midfield, but those little moments just, I think that's what Pochettino means, especially from one of your stars. You lose the ball, just to switch on. He was complaining with the ref, gets it, a tackle in. Gotta just play on. Those little transitions, those little sequences, those little details, that's all that matters at the top level.
Pulisic down the right for Weah. Oh, it just went out.
It's going to be a U.S. ball, no? Yeah, there we go.
Weah with the throw inside here for Berhalter. Now Morris. Trincao, the only goal of the game, having Portugal in front here as Weah curls it in. It's put behind there off the head of Vitinha for a corner here. Coming up next is the Volkswagen halftime show. Liam, Bees, Dunny and Brad will break down this first 45 minutes in Atlanta. The referee just sorting something out inside the penalty area here at Neto and McKennie, shoulder to shoulder. Robinson goes short to Berhalter. This is Pulisic on the edge of the box. Pulisic's ball in is played a long way out, drops for Tillman. Tillman strikes!
Tillman a little frustrated with himself. He just catches it a little bit early, and you can see the ball's flat. Doesn't have the top spin on it he wants to generate. It's like he could just wait one more second before he goes into that sequence to strike it. I think Tillman's been bright this half. He's definitely done everything that Pochettino and the staff have asked of him.
Sarr with the high ball over halfway. loss against Belgium at the weekend, ending a 5-match unbeaten run. Mauricio Pochettino's side, they'd won 3 in a row to finish 2025. Here's Pulisic, skips that challenge. He's got support from McKennie to the left. Robinson as well. Pulisic lays it in towards McKennie. Oh, it just falls down at the vital moment there. Those are situations that on the biggest stage against the best teams you have to take advantage of.
Definitely been the big difference. I mean, just explosive, does so well, good balance, but right here, it just takes that extra touch right there with the outside of his left foot. McKennie was expecting it slightly earlier. I mean, that Weston McKennie was telling us the other day at training, and that's what it is, that the 218s, you know, the quality in those areas of the field, it's just, Bruno Fernandes gets one chance, absolutely forces an amazing save, and scoring one of their only other clear opportunities. And for the U.S., I mean, they're generating these chances. That's definitely a big positive for Pochettino. They got to start forcing saves. They got to start being a little more clinical when they get in those moments.
Our stoppage time is presented by Marriott Bonvoy. We're into 4 minutes of time being added on at the end of this first half. Berhalter. Out to the right it comes for Weah.
It's been a good response from the U.S. after conceding.
Lovely little flick from McKennie. Tillman might be in around the back here. He's got support through the middle from Pulisic, but he couldn't find him. And the coaching staff are off the bench asking for the foul.
They should be. At the point that it was clear Tillman wasn't going to get an advantage there and be able to continue on, they got to bring that back.
Tony Jimenez, the goalkeeper coach, still talking with the 4th official on the near side there. Johnny Cardoso, by the way, who started the game at the weekend, came off at half-time. He returned to Madrid yesterday with a little bit of an injury. So he's not involved, and no Miles Robinson involved either with injury for the US tonight. Cancelo turns and feeds it inside for Vitinha. Little flick from Bruno Fernandes. Gonzalo Ramos, the PSG man. He's still going towards the byline, but then just overruns it. Gonzalo Ramos, who had a goal against Real Madrid in the semi-final of the Club World Cup last year.
Well, watch Richards just stay on his feet, and Berhalter, just that little pressure is enough to throw him off. And I love that maturity. You've seen it in Richards' games. I mean, he's physical. He can get an arm on players. You know, Van Dijk is one of the best in the world at that. Just runs, stays on his feet, continues to shrink the angle. Always looking to see if the attacking player can make the mistake first.
Through the middle for Pulisic here. Pulisic up against Araujo. Christian Pulisic, what can he create here? And a free kick given and a yellow card coming for Christian Pulisic. And Bruno Fernandes straight towards the referee from Germany, Sven Jablonski. Unhappy with that from Christian Pulisic.
Really well done here. What a turn there from Tillman. And lovely feet initially from Pulisic. You can see as he tries to cut it back. He's got the double team there right away. Just a little kick out. And silly at that point, right before half, to get a yellow card. I mean, I get it. He's frustrated. It's been tough. Portugal has really been all over him.
Okay.
He's got to keep his cool in that situation.
At the times when they've had opportunities going forward, they just haven't moved it quick enough. They just haven't been at the speed they need to going forward.
One extra touch, obviously at the highest level, makes all the difference. All in all, not harping on some of these negatives. I mean, the U.S. has had a strong first half performance. They've been generating a lot of opportunities. They just have to be a little more ruthless when they get into those final third positions.
I think the positive from this is that initial entry pass that we're seeing to Malik Tillman or to Christian Pulisic in that midfield and then that drive. But like you guys said, it's that final third, that last touch. And that's exactly what Mauricio Pochettino was telling us. You know, they have to have that type of urgency in that final third. And sometimes even the simplicity when you really think about it.
Bruno Fernandes. Back it comes to the Manchester United man. He was looking for that cross in, didn't quite come as Dalot plays it for Vitinha. And the whistle will go to bring this first half to a close. The goal coming in the 37th minute, a third international goal for Francisco Trincao, the Sporting attacker. The United States having their chances, but so far trail at half-time by 1-0 here in Atlanta. US Soccer on TNT is presented by Bank of America.
To play with this type of team, when they are in the top level with players that play in top level, I think for us is a massive opportunity to keep learning and realize the situation that we need to improve.
Thank you, Mauricio.
You're welcome.
Portugal with 62% of the possession in the first half, but the US had 8 shots to Portugal's 3. 2 shots on target for either side. The last time the United States got a result against a European team after trailing at half-time was the 2014 World Cup against Portugal. So here come all the changes. It will take a little bit of time here as things get sorted out. You know, the only person worse off than the commentators when all 10 changes are made at half-time is the 4th official down there with the board.
His bulbs are going to burn out.
Well, Roberto Martinez said that using the 11 changes that are allowed here gives him the opportunity to make sure that players know what they're doing within the system, to make sure that when changes are made, and the changes that at times he'll have to make during the World Cup, all of the players have had the experience and that he can check on exactly where they're at right now as they head into what will be 2 more games for these sides before the World Cup takes place. So the United States, with those 3 changes, change things around a little. And Freeman stepping out from, right now, what looks like it might be a back 3 with Tim Weah as the right wing back and Arfston as the left wing back. Adjumang forward here. Back it comes to Arfston. Arfston, the Columbus man, back towards Tanner Tessman. Tessman, who started at the weekend. Arfston with the ball clipped in, takes a deflection on the way through. Arfston once again meets it. And Adjumang battling for it there as it comes out on that right side. Tillman, who is still on the pitch, having started this game. It was great chatting with Joao Felix, Melissa, yesterday, and it was interesting. You know, one of the things he said was when he talked to us, he said, "Wow, it's great to see this stadium. I always play this on FIFA. I always play in this stadium on FIFA." And you sometimes forget, like Amadou Onana came in at the weekend and said he just saw this stadium. He couldn't believe it. He's like, "I'm a huge Falcons fan. Love the NFL. To be playing in this stadium is incredible."
Melissa, how's your FIFA game?
I beat you 100%. I grew up playing FIFA, you kidding me? I bet Joao Felix is way better, though. But one of the things that stood out to me about our conversation was that how much he loves coming over to the States. He raved about Miami, by the way, but just in general, the entertainment behind it. He said he loves the American mindset, how they live life. You mentioned watches the NBA, but he says he's always excited to come stateside.
I bet you ran more on FIFA than you did in real life, Kyle.
Definitely. Whoever's playing with me understands I need to track back.
I don't even think FIFA was around when Kyle played.
Cutter Mike.
What was that, Nintendo?
It did hurt me a little when I was talking to Joao Felix. I said, you know, everyone has that one World Cup they think about. Mine was Italia '90 when I was growing up, and that's what I romanticize about. I said, what about for you? He said, South Africa 2010. I'm like, well, there's the difference in age, making me feel old.
You guys are really aging yourself up in that booth.
It's true.
I'm young, down here, pitch side.
Conceição down the right side. Horta, with those changes at half-time. Down the right it comes for Conceição once again. Cut out here by Arfston. Berhalter. Up towards Adjumang, who got that goal to pull it back to 5-2 at the weekend. Patrick Adjumang with 6 international goals in 13 games. And here's a free kick, and I thought initially the referee was going to his pocket, but he let Sebastian Berhalter off there with a warning. Ruben Neves, the player that is fouled. Talk about the quality coming in off the bench. Ruben Neves, who is now with Al Hilal. Played every minute of all 5 Club World Cup games for them last year. 2-time Nations League winner. Quite a run Al Hilal had in the Club World Cup last year. They lost against Fluminense in the quarter-final after beating Manchester City in that incredible 4-3 extra time game in the round of 16. 6 year with Wolves for Ruben Neves. There is João Felix, who is on the verge of winning a league title with Al Nassr. Talked as well about the fact that he liked it at Chelsea, but he just wasn't getting the minutes, and he felt that maybe his World Cup place could have been at peril if he didn't get regular football.
Well, as an Arsenal fan, not to be anti-Chelsea, but there are a lot of players that left Chelsea and had a much better time. We saw one the other night, Kevin De Bruyne, Mo Salah famously, Christian Pulisic.
Yeah. Berhalter. Austin turning it back here for Trusty. Sar down the right is broken up as Aidan Morris picks it up and goes backwards here towards Chris Richards. Freeman forward for Ware down that right touchline. Back for Matt Freese, who was having an animated conversation on the way in with Tony Jimenez, the goalkeeper coach. Austin turned over here, but the free kick is given.
From Marston there. Marston just takes the first ball down, controls it really beautifully. Little sidestep, gets his arm pulled as he goes down, and I love that confidence from Freese to bring that ball to him in a wide position. Berhalter just starting with Tessman out there and Morris out there. Berhalter looks like the one who's getting a little bit more freedom, can move in those advanced positions.
Jimenez trying to hold that one up, but it'll be played back here by Nuno Mendes. Nuno Mendes into the left-back role, having come on at half-time here. And it's given away as Aidan Morris looks to get that one back. Tillman can try and take advantage here. Morris turns, couldn't get the power behind the shot.
Another example there, just slightly indecisive. They get in a great position. Two players get in each other's way for a second. I think Pochettino was absolutely right at halftime. The positive is against one of the top 10 teams in the world, a team with a lot of talent. They just brought a tremendous amount of talent off the bench. They've really held their own, and I think for the most part dominated the match. I mean, you saw the stats, you heard about more shots. It's just that disparity in variance in that final third that's obviously the big difference so far.
Ruben Neves with that high ball across to the left side. Great distribution from him as it comes in for Mendes. Mendes was here in this stadium a couple of times last year playing for PSG in the Club World Cup. They actually beat Bayern Munich here in the quarter-final. They'd beaten Miami in the round of 16. Portugal will be heading to their 7th consecutive World Cup. Their best ever finish was 3rd in 1966. Lost to eventual winners England in the semi-final. In Qatar, they lost in the quarter-finals against Morocco. I was in the stadium for the round of 16 game when they tore Switzerland apart by 6-1. Gonzalo Ramos scored a hat-trick that night. Tessman out wide to the right side for Freeman. Closed down by Horta. Back for Mendes. João Felix. Horta over there on the far side, and back it comes here as there's plenty of options through the middle. Felix was one of them, but they couldn't find him, and Adjimang will bring it away here for the US. Now Weah is in space. The US can break here. Adjimang bursting through the middle. Weah might look further to try and find that left side, and that's a back pass, but the keeper didn't pick it up.
I mean, I was about to give him credit for the accuracy of that pass. I don't know if that's a deflection.
Was it a back pass?
He knows exactly what he's doing. He's trying to put it right to his goalkeeper. If passing it to someone isn't deflecting it, knowing it's going to go right to them,